Brawl news. Doing the YouTuber things, you guys know, gotta do my job every now and again. If you guys consider this video helpful in any way, or you just enjoy my content, it would go a long way if you would consider subscribing if you're not already. As you guys can see, not subscribed. 80.4% of you guys aren't subscribed. Spike homie, what do you think about that? Bruce, any thoughts? They're both frustrated and sad. Subscribe today for them to be happy. Now, we have a lot of update related news here in this episode today, and you guys might be thinking, you know, we just kind of got into the scary tales season. Why are we talking about future updates as of right now? Well, it's going to be approaching much quicker than you guys think, as well as this next update should be a pretty dang significant one at that. As crazy as it sounds, we're coming up on the anniversary of the Brawl Days updates. The very next update coming out, Brawl Talk, should be covering the Brawl Days update, which are spectacular updates. They are gigantic. Now, I'm not saying this next update's going to be huge or anything like that, but the reason we're bringing it up is because of the past things that we get during the Brawl Days update, as in the free Brawler each time. Now, of course, later on in this episode, we will be getting into, you know, the Brawl Talk date and stuff like that when it should be coming out and a little bit more update info. But I just want to point this out to you guys as a little roadmap of how the Brawl Days updates have gone throughout the years. My boy Dandy does a fantastic job highlighting everything here in regards to the crazy rewards that we get during the Brawl Days. Brawl Days through the years. In 2020, we ended up getting a free Brawler that just came out in the shop. I believe that was Edgar. 2021, free Brawler from a challenge. Can't remember which one that was. I'm sure you guys will enlighten me. Maybe Griff? No. 2022, free Brawler from quests. That was Gray. And then 2023, free Brawler in the shop, which of course was Miko. Now, I believe Dandy is just trying to show off some of the parallels of like how things are being released, right? It looks like they're experimenting with these free Brawlers. We got shop, challenge, quest, shop. But I just wanted to share with you guys basically every single Brawl Days update, we end up getting a free Brawler. And of course, whenever it comes to things like this, it's always subject to change. You can't say 100% that we're going to get a free Brawler in the next update or anything like that. But whenever it comes to update predictions and speculation, a lot of it ties to past examples, right? So seeing that we've gotten it 4 years in a row, it's safe to come to that conclusion and somewhat expect it. Also, another really interesting idea that Dandy proposed here is it looks like they're kind of experimenting with how to release these Brawlers, not to like devastate the servers. They do want to give away free Brawlers in Brawl Days, right? But hey, maybe a great idea for 2024, seeing that the Brawl Stars dev team have been focusing a little bit more on community events. That might be a great idea for a free Brawler. I'm just saying that would be huge, incredibly hype if you ask me, and a very successful community event. But in general, the reason I wanted to make this video here today is the big news of prepare for a potential free Brawler in this next update. Speaking of update, before we dive too much into further speculation, I thought it'd be good to get the Brawl Talk date out of the way so we can all kind of get prepared for that. It's not too crazy difficult to figure out anymore based on the current situation that we have with the Brawl Pass seasons. It's kind of formulated now. We can kind of come up with the date super easily. But Scary Tales, the season we're currently in, is going to be ending on November 7th. So with that, we can make the prediction really easily. Based on the release dates of some of the most recent Brawl Talks and then when the Brawl Pass ends up coming out, since we know the exact date of when the Brawl Pass is going to end and based on the timeline of past updates, the Brawl Talk this time around should be coming out on October 26th, which is a lot sooner than I think a lot of people realize, right? We are just getting into the Scary Tales season, but we're only a few weeks away from the next Brawl Talk where we'll get a bunch more information. Now, I do have to say, given the date of the Brawl Stars World Finals, it might get a little bit awkward seeing that it starts on November 1st. It's kind of colliding with update scheduling most of the time, or past years when we've gotten the Brawl Stars World Finals, we would end up getting like a fun sneak peek during that time. So the actual update Brawl Talk and sneak peeks and stuff like that came after the World Finals, but it's not happening this time around. So I'm not quite sure if that's going to influence anything with the update schedule, but I highly doubt it. We're just going to kind of stick with the game plan with the World Finals being a little bit of an afterthought, right? But now that we have the date out of the way, I want to return back to the fun speculation centralized around Brawl Days updates. And the reason I'm making this video a little bit earlier than I normally do when it comes to the next update and scheduling and speculation about that. These Brawl Day updates tend to be really big in a sense that we typically get a lot of free rewards, which is always really nice in the ballpark of progression based stuff. So that's cool. Don't know if that's going to happen this time around. around, seeing that Brawl Stars is working a little bit different than it was in the past, right? In terms of update scheduling and stuff like that. But on top of that, the biggest factor that stands out to me for Brawler Days updates is the fact that we normally get 3 brawlers, which is crazy. The last 2 updates, that's how it's been structured. We got 2 brawlers that came out with the update, and then the third one being a free brawler on top of that. So I can't be 100% certain that that's going to happen this time around as well. Every single update is kind of subject to change. While on top of that, the Brawl Pass season and the Brawl Talk structure is a bit different, seeing that Brawl Talks now introduce 2 seasons every single Brawl Talk update, right? So we're rolling into this Brawl Days with that in mind. That structure wasn't here at that time last year, so who knows how that's going to change this Brawl Days update. But either way, I thought it was pretty dang important to bring up, seeing that we should be getting a free brawler based on previous years. So we'll see how that ends up influencing this Brawl Days this time around, but I guess it will be good data for next year, right? While we're in this format here. Now, before we move along, I think this is also important to bring up while we're on this topic, and that is the fact that every single Brawl Stars World Finals, we typically get some fun sneak peeks and stuff like that. But as I previously stated in the episode today, the scheduling is going to be really weird this time around, and it looks like some changes have been made here given the World Finals being where it is, right? We have Kim, the Brawl Stars esports guy, right, confirming that there will be no balance changes before the World Finals. So the balance changes that we just got were the final time that we would see balancing. So typically before November 1st, we should already have the update live. So it looks like they're pausing balance changes before then. And on top of that, we had Semantic asking the question about what about the 6 hypercharges that normally would be released Tuesday before Worlds. Seeing that Brawl Talk is coming out on the 26th, the actual update should drop on the 29th, which is what Semantic is referring to. The 6 hypercharges should be released then, but Kim says we won't release any new hypercharges before the World Finals. So the World Finals is changing a lot of things here. I'm not sure if that's a clue that something is going to change with the Brawl Talk date or anything like that, or if they'll go with the Brawl Talk as scheduled, but it's making me raise some eyebrows here. Basically, it's hard to predict things with strange occurrences like the Brawl Stars World Finals in such a bizarre spot, right? So I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and see on that note. But yeah, it's kind of interesting kind of heading into uncharted territories. I'm looking forward to see what they cook up for this Brawler Days and what ends up happening with this World Finals. Speaking of World Finals, I ended up seeing some really interesting discussion centralized around some unreleased pins that could be giving us some clues here. I'm over on the dev build, and there seems to be some unaccounted for pins here, obviously, that haven't been released that might be tied to the World Finals and some of those rewards that we can expect with the watch along this time around. Normally, champy pins are abundant during the World Finals, and seeing that this one is like a pumpkin, I think it might make sense. But there's also a few others, much like this one, I don't think has been accounted for. I don't think this digital one either has been accounted for, and this birthday cake one champy pin. This one too, I have no idea what this one is doing here as well. But currently, seeing that we're in the spooky season that we're in, I think it would make sense, obviously, for this to come out sometime soon, so it might be attached to the World Finals. I guess it could be some other interesting possibilities, much like a challenge of some sort, and another possibility that I think might make sense as well is like a special offer, kind of what we saw with the Kenji release, where we had those like sushi sprays and stuff. So I guess that could be a factor as well, but the brand new champy pins hitting the dev build a little bit before the Brawl Stars World Finals kind of makes my gut ring that it might be related to the World Finals, which free pins I think are pretty exciting. But while we're on the topic of pins, I also wanted to mention this before we move along, and that is obviously these pins as well that are related to this update, which I've been getting a lot of questions from individuals out there about the game modes that should be coming out here during the Halloween spooky season, which I'm guessing these are attached to, right? In the Brawl Talk, they don't specifically give a date as to when these spooky game modes are going to be coming out, right, while we're in the Halloween themed update season, but I'm guessing it's going to be coming out sometime very soon. We're kind of just at the beginning of the Halloween update, and I feel like the Brawl Stars dev team tries to, with these updates, to keep things to look forward to kind of keep the whole season hype. But if you're wondering about those pins, I'm guessing they're related to these game modes. I'm guessing they'll be coming out in the form of a quest. So yeah, expect those cool free pins as well, and looking forward to these game modes coming out as well. But to wrap up this video here today, there's been a lot of really interesting discussion around a particular profile icon. Whenever it comes to speculation about future updates, the last few updates, there's been like unaccounted for cosmetics that could be pointing us in the right direction for the very next update that comes out. And a lot of people were suspecting that this one might be related to that as well. There's not a lot of info about this. All we got is player icons, special icon, and this item is not available for sale. So I guess it couldn't be implied that it'd be like a Brawl Pass profile icon, but it's not on the Brawl Pass. The Brawl Pass profile icon is this toxic one here. So it's really peculiar. It is actually out here over on the Brawl Stars fan kit, and it was released on the fan kit along with all the other Spooky Tales update related content. So seeing that it's unaccounted for, I don't think it has a crap ton to do with the next update or anything like that, as some people are suspecting. What I'm thinking is this very well could be a free profile icon with some sort of challenge or event while we're in the Spooky Tales season here. As you can see, we have player icon, Brawl Pass, BP, Scary Tale, which is really interesting. I don't know why they have BP Brawl Pass there if we can't get it on the Brawl Pass. Super interesting. I don't know. It's very peculiar. It's a strange situation going on with it. So I don't know, maybe keep this on your radar. I'm sure we'll get an explanation about this sometime down the line while we're in this season. But yeah, man, that's just about all I got for you guys here in this episode today. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of leeway, right? Some running room here before we enter this next Brawl Talk, right? Because we are kind of headed into a pretty dang important one, seeing that it is going to be Brawler Days, but very questionable. I can't wait to see how this is all structured and organized given the Brawl Stars World Finals. Basically, since now, the last, I think, 2 Brawler Days updates in Brawl Stars World Finals, they kind of use the Brawl Stars World Finals as a sneak peek avenue, giving us a little bit of additional information. Literally during the last Brawl Stars World Finals, they announced that Miko would be a free brawler during this update up on your screen 10 months ago, right? So really interested to seeing how this is all going to play out here. It's kind of getting me to scratch my head a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I think we're gonna end it on that note. Thank you guys for watching so much. I appreciate y'all spending some time hanging out with your boy Ray, but we'll be talking really soon. Adios, take care.